FIFA calls itself the guardian of the beautiful game. It presents itself as a non-profit dedicated to developing football and bringing nations together through sport. It puts on the World Cup, the most watched sporting event on earth, and wraps it in the language of unity and passion. But behind that carefully constructed image was one of the most corrupt organisations in the history of international sport, built on decades of bribery, vote selling, and fraud carried out by the very men trusted to protect the game. This is the FIFA corruption scandal. Chapter 1. How FIFA actually worked. FIFA, the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, governs world football across 211 member nations, more than the United Nations. Its most valuable asset is the right to award and commercialise the FIFA World Cup, which generates billions of dollars in television rights and sponsorships every 4 years. The power to award World Cup hosting rights sits with FIFA's Executive Committee, a small group of men who vote on which nation gets to host. This created a system where a handful of individuals each controlled an enormously valuable vote. And where there are enormously valuable votes, there will always be people willing to pay for them. FIFA was registered as a non-profit in Switzerland with limited external oversight. Its internal ethics committee was appointed by FIFA itself. Its finances were largely opaque, and its president for 17 years, that was Sepp Blatter, wielded extraordinary personal authority over an organisation generating hundreds of millions annually. The conditions for systematic corruption were essentially built into the institution from the start. Chapter 2. Decades of bribes. The corruption accumulated gradually over decades as the commercial value of football exploded. The earliest documented cases date to the 1990s, when the ISL, sports marketing company, which held FIFA's lucrative television contracts, began paying bribes to FIFA officials in exchange for contract renewals. Internal documents later revealed Sepp Blatter himself received a payment from ISL, a fact FIFA's ethics committee investigated and quietly buried without sanction. Jack Warner, FIFA's vice president and the most powerful football official in the Caribbean, was at the centre of allegations for years. He allegedly sold World Cup tickets on the black market, received payments for votes, and funneled money through football development accounts that served primarily to enrich himself. Warner operated with apparent impunity because he delivered votes. In FIFA's political structure, the ability to deliver blocks of votes from member associations made officials like Warner enormously valuable and therefore largely untouchable, regardless of what they were accused of. Chapter 3. The Qatar decision. Nothing brought corruption allegations into sharper focus than the 2010 decision to award the 2022 World Cup to Qatar. Qatar is a tiny Gulf state with no football culture and summer temperatures regularly exceeding 45 degrees Celsius, making outdoor football potentially lethal. On almost every conventional metric, it was an implausible choice, and yet FIFA's Executive Committee voted for Qatar over bids from the United States, Australia, Japan, and South Korea. Investigations by newspapers, including the Sunday Times, uncovered evidence suggesting votes had been bought. An internal FIFA investigation produced a report running hundreds of pages that was almost entirely redacted before publication. The human cost added another deeply uncomfortable dimension. Stadium construction relied heavily on migrant workers from South Asia, living under conditions critics describe as modern, indentured servitude. Estimates of migrant worker deaths connected to World Cup construction range from hundreds to thousands, and FIFA's response was consistently inadequate. Chapter 4. The FBI investigation. While FIFA's internal processes repeatedly failed to address corruption, the United States Department of Justice had been quietly building a case for years. American jurisdiction was established simply because many corrupt transactions, including wire transfers and bribe payments, had passed through American banks. Under US law, that was sufficient to establish federal jurisdiction, regardless of where the individuals involved were located. FBI agents and IRS investigators followed money through shell companies, interviewed cooperating witnesses, and built a picture of a criminal enterprise spanning decades. They did something FIFA's ethics committee had never seriously attempted. They actually followed the money.